Alright, since I've never done a video on how I made my diverters, because it wasn't really that difficult to make, I just don't really work and video at the same time. Look under my vessel here, my 2x6 mainframe. Alright, I have this 2x6 and another one on the other side spaced 19 inches apart. That gives me a nice depth to create the barrels. In here, see all these screws? I match my angle and I have a 2x6 that 2x6 that butts up against this front. It's even with the bottom, and it runs all the way down to about 1.5 inches short from the bottom of the barrel. And then I left 1.5 inches short, and I'll explain that in a minute why. And then I have a straight one going all the way up, tying into the main frame. It runs all the way up, tying into these two 2x6s. I got a brace running across, so I have a 2x6 coming down and that 2x6 coming forward, and then I ran a 2x4 just a few inches down just to support the sides. When I cut my barrels, I notched it. I cut I want to say it's 1 inch by 2 inch. I cut a slot, and that notch is about 7 inches down below the main frame on all of them. That notch allows the barrel to jump out of this lip, because you have a lip that's about 3/4 inches deep on most barrels, and then it jumps over, and I was able to put a screw in just the lip. This screw doesn't go into the barrel, it goes into this lip. These two screws goes into that 2x4 I added across, and then I just screwed to my main frame all the way across. And I added this is just a piece I added on after, but my diverter is screwed just like this to the front, just all the way across, and I added this little lip to give it less to catch on. All three of my diverters are made the same, and I did leave holes for water to drain, because I mean, you can see my water line, it's about right here, so while you're in the water, this fills up with water, and when you come out, it drains. Now that 2x6, yes, that 2x6 that comes down, my vertical one, that gives support for this angled one, I left it about 1 inch to 1.5 inches short to allow for this barrel lip to tuck underneath it. And I just kind of rounded it off with a sander to where it would go in smooth. And these are solid. They're not going anywhere, they're not coming off. I beached this quite a few times, ran over quite a few things. The hard part in this build was making 3 of them pretty much identical. And you asked about the setback. I'm assuming you mean the setback from this barrel to the front of my frame. On my frame, there's a 2x6 behind this 2x8 as a 2x6. If you looked at my build videos, the 2x6 is the main frame. That's what holds all the barrels. This 2x8 is just purely decoration on strength and gives it a solid bumper all the way around. The setback. On the first barrel, I put a straight edge on the front. This won't be a precise measurement, but you're looking at about 26 inches from the front of this barrel to the front of my frame. And my rear, I don't know if you're going to build your rear the same as mine, or you're going to go a different route. I only have a diverter on the center because it gets rid of cavitation for the motor. Without the diverter, I was getting some air churning up right here, and the motor would suck it in. This helps the water flow nice and smooth over the engine. I had every intention of adding diverters on the rears. As you can see more of that lip I'm talking about, it's pretty deep. The barrel just fits in there. The diverter you build is going to slip right in there. So, being I don't have a diverter on here, basically what I have a 2x6 laying this direction, the 6 inches facing this way, coming down about 1.5 inches short, and I angled it. And from there, I took my measurement to my front, which would be on the other side, and I put that 2x6 going on the inside right here. That way I can fold my barrel here and screw to here. So from right here, comes all the way down and meets up probably a good inch. Yeah, probably a good inch from the bottom of the barrel. That leaves just enough room for that lip to go in there. And then I ran a 2x4 across just to bolt my sides to. Probably wasn't necessary, but I did it anyway because I was there. Yeah, that's how I built mine. That's how I'm going to continue to build mine. I hope this video is helpful. I wish I made a video on the diverters. That's the #1 question I get asked, is how do you make the diverters look all even, which is actually, it's not even. My middle row of barrels is 1.25 inches, sorry, 1.5 inches further forward than my outside pontoons, because this was added after the fact. After the build, I added this pontoon in, and because of the way I built my transom, I had to be 1.5 inches further forward. So my angle is slightly different on the center one, which you wouldn't know it if I wouldn't point it out. You really can't tell. You can see a slightly different angle on the center one versus the two outsides. But any more questions, just ask, and I'll try to get to you when I can. I'm still working on the houseboat, obviously, getting ready for the spray foam, doing all my finishing. So hopefully I'll have an update soon. Thank you.